back to my channel. This is Laura Kelly, and this is Cooking It Up and Exploring. The last video I did, we were at Niagara Falls and we had such a good time, but it's time to cook again. And this time I'm doing something that's super easy. You can cook it in advance, you can make them and freeze them, and they still taste just as good. And I'm talking about chicken pot pie. So what I've done, let me turn my camera around so you can see. Push it down. I'm working by myself, so. Okay. So what I've done is I've started to cut up the potatoes. And I have some mixed vegetables. When I say it's simple, it's simple. I have some mixed vegetables. I have some chicken stock that I made myself from Watkins. And I have all my seasonings. So, let me set this down and let me put this down so you can see. Let's get cooking. So, first of all, I'm going to go ahead and cut up the potatoes and the onions, and then I'll come back to you. Okay, I'm back. As you can see, I have went ahead and I have cut up my potatoes and I have my onions cut. And the potatoes are cut in small bites so that when it cooks into the oven, it cooks the potatoes. They recommend that if you're going to use fresh, that you boil your carrots and your potatoes so that they get done. But since I'm using frozen, because this is a fast recipe, we're not going to do that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a half a stick of butter, cut it in half, and I'm going to take it over to my pot. Here, let me take you with me so you can see. I'm going to take you over with me to my pot. This is my pot that I'm using. Can you see it? And I'm going to drop the butter in so that it can start to melt. So, while that's melting, let's go back over. For some reason, this is just being a hard day for me. Okay. So, while that's melting, I'm going to put you on hold again, and I'm going to get all my stuff ready to go over there. So, I'll be right back. Okay, so what I'm going to do, let me go over and get my onions, and I probably have a potato in there too. I'm going to come over here, my butter's browning, and it's browning pretty fast, so I'm going to add my onions to that, and I'm just going to kind of let them cook around and become translucent. So I'm just going to stir and stir and stir because I don't want anything to burn. So, to that, while the onions are becoming translucent, I'm going to add like about 2 or 3 tablespoons of flour and just let that cook around also. So, what I'm kind of doing is browning off my flour, as so. And while that's browning, I'm going to add some salt. A little salt, not a lot, and some black pepper. So I'm going to stir that around, and that's going to cook the flour. It's kind of like making a roux, the same way you'd make a roux if you were making gumbo. So to that, I'm going to add my half and half. So I'm shaking it up and I'm opening it up. Doesn't seem to want to open for me, but okay. The magic of TV. Okay, let me get this open and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Stubborn little sucker didn't want to open. And here we go again. It keeps doing that on camera. That is so weird. I should have never put the top back on. There we go. I bet you won't get a chance to do that again. So, I'm going to pour in a little half and half to my mixture. It's just to give it a creaminess. And to the half and half, I'm going to add chicken broth. And I'm telling you, this is a great, great, great chicken broth. It's from Watkins, and I tell you, you can't get a better tasting chicken broth. So to this, I'm adding my vegetables, which would be my mixed vegetables. Go ahead and pour them in. I thought I'd have enough to make 2 pies, but I don't know because I'm using a deep dish crust. I'm going to add those in, put that aside, and then I'm going to add my potatoes in. All off the board. Ah, drop one. Get back in here. So, what I'm going to do is just cook this up until the potatoes become a little soft and the gravy becomes more, how do I say it, thicker, because you want a thicker gravy to put in your crust. So I'm going to go ahead and cook this up, and when I come back, we're going to be putting together the actual pie. Be right back. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm cooking the juice, the gravy for the pie, and before it starts to get thick and thickened, I'm going to add chicken. Now you can use chicken from that you have left over. I bought a rotisserie chicken and I cleaned the meat off the bone and I put it in the freezer, the refrigerator the day before. So I'm going to use all this in here to just kind of get all mashed up and cut up, and then as this cooks, the gravy will thicken even more. But I wanted to show you put it in the chicken. And like I said, you can use any type of meat. You can use chicken, you can use turkey, whatever you have. And you just, let it stew. So I'm going to go ahead and let this chicken absorb all of that goodness from the gravy and the vegetables. And then when I come back, we'll be putting it all together. Be back in a minute. Okay, I'm back. So while I'm waiting for my chicken and vegetables to thicken up so that I could go ahead and put it in the crust, I just wanted to make mention that I used Watkins chicken flavored soup mix, and I used Watkins gourmet gravy soup base onion. These are very good to use if you're making gravies, any kinds of soups or anything. You just mix them with water and you have your own chicken stock. And for flavoring, I use Watkins onion powder, which has no salt in it. And I also used the garlic. So, I'm going to go ahead and check. Let's check this out. See how it's doing. I know you can't see me there, but sorry. So, I'm going to bring this over so that you can check it out. Check it out, check it out. So, I hope that you can see. Let me fix it where you can. Okay, so I just finished cooking the mix, and that's it right there. It looks so delicious and it smells so good. So what I'm going to get ready to do is to scoop. I'm going to put my phone down so that you can see. I'm going to get ready to scoop the mixture into my pie crust. You can make your own pie crust if you'd like. Since it's an easy and fast meal, I preferred not to make my own. So let me get set up and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to turn this around. I was using my selfie stick for this, but it started to get on my nerves, so I'm just going to hold for the rest of the video, which that's TV. So here's what's happening. This is the cooked version of the vegetables and the chicken, and you can see it's kind of good to put in those potatoes, because the starch from the potato also helps to thicken the juice. So what I'm going to do, come here and get a ladle, and as I said, this is my crust. I'm just going to ladle this into my crust like so. Looks so delicious. And you know what, I made extra because I thought I would probably make one to freeze, and I was right. I have enough to make one to freeze. So this is going to make 2 pies, and we can eat one now. And like I said, they freeze beautifully. I mean, you've never had they just freeze beautifully. So let me go ahead and put these in here. And these are just regular pie shells. Like I said, if you want to make your own pie shell, you can. But these are just like regular pie shells from the grocery store. And they're frozen. And you don't have to worry about your pan to put it in, because it's already in the pan. So to speed this video along, I'm going to go ahead and unwrap the other part of the pie crust, because you put a top one on, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. So these are the pie crusts that I've filled, and it tells you to slit them so that you can have so the steam can escape. So I just take a fork and stick holes in it like that, and the steam will escape just as easily that way. So what I'm going to do is I've preheated my oven on 400, and it says I'm going to cook them for 20 minutes, and I'll come back and show you the finished product. Okay, I'm back. So I'm going to show you the finished product right here. That's the finished product. I had enough filling to make 2, and I cook one, and then I have one over here waiting to cool down so that I can freeze it. Hope you enjoy this. Have a good day, and thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe.